Okay, welcome back to the Move with Mully podcast, where we have real conversations with real people in real estate. I'm Mully,
And I'm Parsons.
and welcome back. We are diving in today to the niches, or niches, if that's how you roll, because the riches are in the niches. That one works.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard that. I think I go with niche, not niche.
I hear niche probably the most,
Yeah,
and niche just sounds cool.
it does.
Right.
You sound like, I don't know, maybe French.
Right, I'm very French, yes.
Yes, in niche.
So when I was early in my real estate career, I always heard riches are in the niches. You should niche down. I was like, cool concept, but how do you even pick a niche? What does that mean? Like, does that mean I only sell lakefront properties or I only work with first-time home buyers? I thought it was very siloed. So I didn't really go there. I was like, dude, I'm just trying to sell any real estate I can sell. So I'm going to stay very general and find any business I can find.
Right. Well, I think that's how like most agents are going to start as, right, a generalist, just to get your foot in the door and figure out this industry and how you're going to work it. But then, yeah, it's that transition point where, okay, you got your foundations, you know how to negotiate, you know how to convert, but now you got to pick what you're going to focus on.
Yes.
And like, it's initially really hard because you're like, well, then I'm putting my blinders on to all these other opportunities.
Yep.
But it's the focusing in that actually opens up way more opportunity.
It's crazy. Now that we've actually been niching down a bit more, it has opened so many doors that it's closed.
Right.
And that was the aha moment for me. It was like, oh, just because you are focused on one thing or you're building a skill in one thing, you're still getting opportunities in other things. It's not like they just go away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're still, say you're zeroed in on a first-time homebuyer program and you're really diving in on that, you're still getting the downsizers, you're still getting referrals, you're still meeting people at open house. Like, your other business doesn't just go away. And that was probably a silly misconception by me. But if I felt it, I feel like, well, a lot of people in our industry probably feel that. And it's becoming, in today's market, where agents are having to bring more to the table
Mm-hmm.
to, support their compensation value, to stay relevant. I would say niching down or niching down earlier is even better. And it doesn't mean that you have to go all in on it. You just have to start building a skill.
Well, I think that's the key, right? You're not blocking yourself from other opportunities, but you've made that decision of, okay, I'm going to focus on this thing, and I'm going to hone my skills on this one thing, but I'm still working these other lead sources or just like generalist point of view. You're still working those.
Yep.
But you've landed on. Now, does it need to be one thing, or can you have multiple?
I think personally, once you find a niche that you really crush in, it will become your one thing. But again, early on, maybe try a few different things, because the beautiful thing about content these days, you can make evergreen content on social media, on YouTube, on your website, on blogs.
Mm-hmm.
So you can become, a niche expert in, let's say for 3 months, you niched down in horse properties and you made a ton of good content about horse properties and you got that onto the internet and into your media. That's now living. All the while you could choose, okay, I'm going to go maybe try getting into a first-time homebuyer thing or work with veterans or whatever it is else that you like. Now you may find that, whoa, the horse property thing, that's starting to catch traction. Okay, now you're going to pour more resources into that. But I don't think you necessarily have to say, for now and always, I am this.
Right.
It's more fluid now.
Yeah. So like to your horse property example, like thinking about multiple niches, would that also include like ag properties, or are they separate niches entirely?
Great question. So let's break it down. What is a niche? Right.
To me, it's like a very, I guess, specified knowledge and audience that's within that knowledge, that wants that knowledge.
That wants your specific knowledge and has specific pain points. right? That is like the backbone of all marketing and conversion, is like you have something that solves a customer's pain point. And when you look at what are the different types of niches that I could pick from, it could be the very simple, easy to identify stuff, like we said, first time home buyers, downsizers, move up folks that need to sell and buy. Or you could get into things like first responders, veterans, or you could get into even just specific neighborhoods. I mean, becoming the expert on Old Town Fort Collins or downtown park neighborhoods in Denver is a niche, and that's more geographic. And so those are kind of fun too, because you can still be a generalist, but you're a very specific geographic specialist.
Right.
And that starts to become valuable, that buyers and sellers in that geographic space are like, okay, this person knows my lifestyle, what pain points I'm solving for, et cetera.
Well, yeah. And you bring up an interesting point too. Even if you're just focused on a neighborhood, you're going to start to understand the demographics of that neighborhood and like who your typical home buyer or home seller is. And then like your niche is just refining itself at that point. Because now you've attached to not just the neighborhood, but you've also attached to maybe like ages of the population or industries that they primarily work in, or where they're even going to be going.
It could open an entirely, niche upon the niche. It's like, oh, cool. I started out working with first-time home buyers. So naturally, I became an expert in new construction, because a lot of the builders are offering big incentives and very attractive packages for new, first-time home buyers that don't have a ton of cash down. Okay, those are two niches that marry well together. Or, okay, I was working with first-time home buyers who also didn't have a lot of cash for a large purchase price. So therefore, we were looking at a lot of homes that needed updating and remodeling. Okay, then I got expertise and I started learning about how to remodel and what's your best bang for your buck and DIY projects. Like, it starts to open more doors. So it can be, a niche can be a avatar of client, right? Who is the client? That could become your niche. It could be a geographic location. It could be a type of property, like we said, ag, horse property, lakefront property. If you live in an area that has, specific recreation, you can relate to the people who are doing that type of lifestyle. Multifamily, right? There's people that have gone down the investor path and they really get to know multifamily. So it's super fun because you can just I feel like you can become an expert more quickly when you niche down, right? Of course it helps to be in the industry. Hey, I've been doing this 10, 20 years, but you could be a new agent and just decide, hey, I'm going to really get to know this one thing. And within 6 months, like, you're going to know probably more than the average agent on that topic.
Yeah. And then like, if you make the content and you put it out there, most of the time I'm seeing the newer agents, the younger generations putting out the content, and those are also the people who are consuming it, sending it to their parents. And that is just one way to get what you're talking about, because it's so hyper specific to a situation that immediately resonates with your audience or someone your audience knows.
Exactly. So if you are the more seasoned veteran agent listening to this and you don't have all of your knowledge base somewhere out in media, that's your very next step. Like, you must do this. Like, in the next 12 to 24 months, the agents who are going to rocket ship growth in our industry are the ones that have the content in as many places as possible, because we know to be true, people are consuming real estate content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, probably apps that I don't even know. And we know what about AI? It's scraping all of that content, right? So if you're the one with your knowledge base out there in the world, the digital world, you're now findable.
Right. It's going to, because it scrapes your YouTube video, like the transcripts, Reddit, as we learned, is
Big time.
huge.
Big
It takes
time.
basically, even if what people are saying isn't true, it takes it as gospel.
Yep.
Like, this guy knows what he's talking about, even
Yeah.
though that guy may have no idea what he's talking about. So you should know what you're talking about when you're putting it on Reddit. But yeah, to your point, everything that you put out there, like, there's no value in keeping it all locked up here anymore.
Yep.
You get more value by actually sharing those things, sharing your secrets,
Yep.
sharing your expertise.
That's been the biggest flip in the last few years, and we're never going back in the industry, is the findable agent is the winning agent, not the best agent. You could be the absolute best agent who knows your niche the best or has the best handhold on the contracts, but you're not going to get the client, because the more findable agent out on the internet is the one who gets the call.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the really quick flip that's happened. And it's exciting because we can sit down right now and talk about our niche. And within 30 minutes of talking about everything we know, AI and other tools can help us get that out to the world so that we are findable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just had a listing appointment this week, and it was the first time that this was a client that I didn't know. They just called us out of the blue because we had sold a house 3 doors down. They said, "Hey, saw your sign. You sold the house."
I love that. Gotta love a sign call.
Gotta love that. And come to find out, we show up to the house for the listing appointment, and he said, "Oh, funny enough, I've been searching realtors since February." So been researching who he wanted to call over for a few months. And he said, "I was asking AI, who is doing this, who's doing production, and he said, because you guys shared your stats and you shared, more about your process, I had a connection with you guys. There were some other like big teams out there that were like top production or whatever, but I saw you guys did good production, and I got a more of a feel of how you work. And even AI said, hey, the Mullenberg team is a bit more like family oriented, more like down to earth, hands-on customer service."
Mm-hmm.
Because we've put that out into the world,
Right.
through our videos or just reviews
So
and stuff.
he just like ChatGPT, whatever he GPT, best realtor in Fort Collins or best real estate team.
Yeah.
And like, do you know if he dove into any of your videos and like watched anything?
Because I said,
No,
hey,
it was purely just ChatGPT.
I said, "Hey, if you have a chance, check out our videos." He's like, "Oh, I haven't checked out the videos." But what he said was, hey, if ChatGPT said that you guys deliver on production, you actually post your stats, and you posted like client success stories, that was enough for me. Like, I don't need to know about your marketing. I don't need to know, like, it must work. So you just shortcutted to like, okay, yeah, this must work.
Wow.
Oh, and by the way, they just sold the house down the street, went under contract first weekend. So that was a big aha of like, okay, we need to be telling our stories and getting it out on all the platforms, telling people how we work, tell the success stories, like, because that's all getting scraped by the AI.
Yeah. So like, once you have your niche, like, what are the next steps to that?
So good question, because how you actually build confidence in your niche is go like, let's just take an example. Let's say you want to be a downsizer niche. Okay. You want to help people transitioning into probably a single level home.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times they are coming out of a bigger home. Let's use that as our example. So the first thing you want to do is, just like we're talking, build your content base and take the 101 questions, like, and work with AI. I mean, we've done this, right? Like, work with AI and say, hey, what are the top 10 pain points that people downsizing real estate are going through?
Mm-hmm.
What are they trying to solve for? Okay. Now you've got 10 videos. Go shoot those videos. And you don't have to be the world's top expert on downsizing. You just need to be the one putting it into concise, digestible content. So that's step number one, is like, get your content base there. Then we're about to talk about packaging. How do you package that into something that's different than every other agent? Right? Because every realtor can say, yeah, of course I can help you downsize. Like, I specialize in that. But then you walk in with, hey, here's my 10-step certified downsize plan. Come up with a a good name for your package. Now, if you walk into that listing appointment and they met with two other agents who just, kind of had the same, oh, we market and we do this, we do that, versus you have an actual certification, downsizing, 10-step guide, and you've got the concierge service, you've solved for every one of their pain points because you built it into your presentation, you're going to win that 90% of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. And I think you're really good at packaging, what you're offering, but do you feel like what you're offering is actually any different, but you just gave it like a name?
I would say that 75% of our success with packaging is purely the fact that it's packaged.
Just that you created a name.
Just that we created a name. It's our
and like an
Mully,
objective.
our Mully move up program,
Okay.
our fast track first time home buyer program. So just right there, creating a package and then creating some content around that, we can now very confidently say, hey, yes, we are specialists in the niche of downsizing.
Mm-hmm.
We are specialists in the niche of first time home buying. It gives you validity, right? Like you walk in and you even feel more confident, like in your presentation, because you've got something to point to and say, hey, client, I know exactly what you're going through because I work specifically with folks in your shoes.
Yeah.
That's why we created the cleanup to closing program. You're wondering how to get rid of all the stuff you've accumulated over decades in your home. Where to even start? Should I paint this? Should I fix that? What goes to the dump? How do I get this ready for sale? We created the entire program.
Mm-hmm.
That just like, in their mind, you become the expert. Now, whether you've sold 100 homes in the last year or one, you're still a leg up. Now it's not so much about, oh, how many homes have you sold? How many homes? Now it's, you have a specific knowledge and a package that I need as a customer.
Yeah, and I think it's easy to overthink a package because like just hearing you talk about it, I already know that I've overthought it. But really, I think all that you've done here is you've just taken a step back from the whole process and you've lined out, okay, what is the most ideal way for this to happen? Whether it be a downsize that involves a cleanup to close or a first-time home buyer trying to navigate getting a CHFA loan because they have nothing in the down payment. Mm-hmm. All you've done is just like zoomed out and laid out the steps as ideally as they can possibly be.
Yeah.
And then gave it a nice name.
Yeah.
And a presentation, and then you just speak to that.
Yep. What you come to find out is that every problem and pain point in real estate can usually be solved in 3 to 5 bullet points,
mm-hmm.
if we're being honest. So your job as the real estate professional, in my opinion, is to basically shortcut them to the result, right? They're out there talking to GPT, they're doing research online, they're talking to friends who have, they are swimming in information. You have boiled that down now to, hey, here's the 5-step process. Here's what you really need to know. And you validate where they're at. Hey, I know you're probably swimming in info. You don't know where to start. That's why we created this program.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 boom. Here's the 5 steps. It takes us back to like consumer psychology where if they're scared or confused, they don't take action. So when you lay out a very simple, digestible program and you say, we're the experts at this, we've solved for all the pain points, we've been through this, they can relax, get on the bus. Let's go to the destination.
Right. You're bridging the gap. The package is what bridges that gap.
Yep.
Because all they're staring at is the gap.
Yep.
And they don't know how to get to the other side.
Yep. Yep. To wrap up on niches, the thing you should also do with niches is go find that community and go be in places that community is. And you don't have to, doesn't mean physically you have to go to, horse and farm, trade shows. If you're getting into horse property, that would probably help. But it also means digitally, you're just going where these people are. Are you a part of talking about horse property as an example? Are you part of the Facebook groups? Are you in the Reddit threads chiming in? Are you creating groups, right? Like that's a cool thing. Like, well, there's already, Facebook and Reddit threads. There's already all that out there. Cool. Create your own. I don't care if there's already stuff out there. Like People will be drawn to a specific thing. Or, hey, how about a new Instagram handle that is, Horse Properties Colorado or whatever, and just start pumping content into that niche space. Because that, like if you've ever put yourself in the consumer shoes and you were out there swimming around the internet and there was a group or something that just kept putting content out that's hitting things that you're thinking about, you're paying attention.
Right. You're probably joining that group if you haven't already.
At the very least. So like I was talking with one agent who was considering university parents as a niche.
Yeah.
Because so many of them buy property if they're smart.
Right.
And we started looking at the data, and this is the cool part about niches, is like when you really look at the data of, okay, how many properties sell around the college, around the university? And you're like, holy cow, in the last 6 months, there's, 88 sales. That's a lot. I mean, even if you grabbed 10% of that market, that's 8 to 10 sales just in one little geographic area with one avatar client.
Right.
I mean, that's always what blows my mind when I like go look at a map shape in the MLS, or I go look at a certain type of property. Okay, show me everything 1 to 5 acres. And it's like, there is a lot of depth, more than you think, to go pick up some of that business.
Yeah. Well, and actually, so one thing that I think is pretty important when you're picking a niche, you got to be interested in it.
Agreed.
Like if you're not interested, the chances of you creating and actually moderating a Facebook group or a Reddit subthread, or just like even just doing the deep dive because you're like genuinely interested in it and you're in flow state. If you're not interested, I don't think you should pick that niche.
Yeah.
So like, do you start at like, okay, so I like off-roading and camping. That's where you start, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Or a big one for me, because I house hacked for 10 years or so.
Yep.
And I can speak to it and I enjoy it.
Yep.
That is something I can talk about, and I don't even need to really do the research because I already know it and I lived it.
Yep.
But it's something that interests me and therefore has become a niche of mine.
Yeah. You should, at minimum, be interested in becoming skilled at that thing. It's like, I have kind of accidentally gotten skilled at construction knowledge. Like I'm not a general contractor, but we own a construction company and we've done enough remodels and flips and all this that I've just learned more than the average agent on like, oh, I know how much that remodel is going to cost you. So we walk through a house with a client. I'm like, yep, you're roughly this, you're roughly that cost. Like I can help them in 20 minutes map out what an average agent might not know. They just haven't come across that.
Right.
Now, am I deeply passionate about being a general contractor for the rest of my life? Like probably not, but I got passionate about having that skill because I was like, whoa, this helps people so much.
That's true.
Like I saw just immediately like, okay, this is just a tool in my box. And now it's become even a part of my niche a little bit where it's like, hey, we're a full service real estate team. I can talk to you all about your remodel and what it's going to cost, what your biggest return on investment is going to be. So that's just another example of a niche that's more of a skill rather than an avatar client or a type of property. It's just like, if you got a special skill, if you're awesome at interior design, you've built a skill in that, like lean into that. I know listing agents who crush, especially in the luxury market with that are like, hey, I can come in and like fully stage and spruce your home up to make an extra $100,000. That's a skill that became a niche.
Right. Yeah. They can walk in, tell them what they should do with confidence.
Yep.
And get the job done. So actually a question for you. So what came first, the skill of being able to, pick, this is going to cost this is going to cost this. You shouldn't worry about that. Did that skill come before the package of the cleanup to close, or did the cleanup to close idea and package happen and then you gain the skill?
The skill came first.
Skill came first. So
back to your point of do something you're interested in for your niche. Also look at the things you're good at. Like I'm not the most analytical guy on the planet, but I realized like, oh, I'm kind of like good at numbers. Like I can I can think about numbers and present them well. I can put a spreadsheet together. Like, so all of a sudden that skill that I was just doing for clients, I'm like, whoa, this is like really valuable. Like,
Yeah.
most agents are having to call in a GC or chase around handyman, trying to get quotes on everything. Like, I can get us a lot of the way there just because I developed a skill over some years. And I was like, oh, maybe that's a niche. Turns out it is,
Right.
And now you can start to package and put content out that is like, hey, major pain point for clients, and pain point for realtors too.
Huge pain point.
You're always chasing contractors around, and like, if you don't have that construction skill, you're just like, wow, I'm just in the same boat with the client,
Right.
We're trying to figure this out. So yes, I think follow your intuition for your niche on things you like and things you're good at.
Mm-hmm.
And, it doesn't hurt if it's a growing need too. I mean, look at the trajectory of what that niche is. And if it's a nice deep pool to swim in, but like, I can guarantee you most agents are not niching very well. So again, you're going to walk in and beat agents who are probably better at that than you.
Mm-hmm.
But you marketed it better, you packaged it better, you got content out in the world, you're going to capture more business.
Well, I imagine that also most agents who, I imagine that most agents have the niche come to them instead of them selecting the niche. And like, I guess what I'm saying by that is they just find that they're working with a lot of first-time home buyers, and maybe it's not their favorite clientele to work with, but they just keep finding themselves working that. So then they're like, okay, well, I guess I work with first-time home buyers now, and that's my niche.
Yeah.
Versus going out and thinking critically of like, well, this is what I would prefer to work with. This kind of situation, this kind of client.
Intentional.
Yeah, being intentional
Yes.
about picking the niche instead of just accepting whatever comes to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I could say it's a perfect science. Like, you will
Sure.
sometimes stumble into your niche, but you'll also eventually want to put some intentionality behind, okay, where do I want to grow? If I could work with one or two types of clients or one or two types of properties and use one or two top skills, what are those? And here's the final point on niche. It makes you even more referable, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you help a client with a very like specific expertise, they're now talking about that. It's not just like, oh yeah, you should talk to my realtor, they're really great. It's like, oh no, you need to talk to my realtor because they helped me do X, Y, Z. They have this 5-step program. They brought in their people, boom, boom, boom. Like,
all things that they can point to when they're in a conversation with someone else.
Yeah. Like our referrals went through the roof the more we niche down.
Right. And I figure exactly what the statistic is, but like, you are basically the 10 people that you surround yourself with. So the person that you're helping with this particular need, chances are 80% of the people around them are going to be in a similar situation, or they know someone also in that same situation.
Yep.
So immediately, yeah, if like to your point, makes your referability just skyrocket.
Yep. It's smart. So no matter where you're at in your real estate journey, start thinking about the niche, start building content. Even if you don't stick with that niche your entire career, it's worth building your expertise and getting content out there.